Oop is having trouble telling her husband that she's finally ready to be his wife. I'm not the Oop. Oop is you. Ixie's 45. Original. 4 days ago. I'm having trouble to tell my husband that I'm finally ready to be his wife now. It's a very complicated story how me and my husband got married. But to make a long story short, it's a lot of family issue, debts, and cultural things involved. So it's like I was forced to marry him. I get married at 23 years old, and my husband was 28 years old. It's been 3 years since our marriage. I'm 26 and he's 31 now. And what I respect about him is he never touched me or even tried to make me do things that I don't want. And this is including getting intimate. We never get intimate because I told him that I'm not ready for it. And he respected that respect, slowly growing into me actually liking him. I just don't know, but he looks so much better in my eyes these days than 3 years ago. But I just don't know how to tell him that I'm finally ready to be a wife that he wants. Not gonna lie, I feel very ashamed of myself too for basically ignoring him all these years. Any advice on how I should approach this situation without embarrassing myself? Update. Today. Update. I'm having trouble to tell my husband that I'm finally ready to be his wife now. I guess the moment I asked him to go to the movies together, he realized something finally changed in our marriage. So when we arrived, he initiated to hold hands with me and I hold his hand as well. He was paused for a few seconds. And then I saw him kinda take a deep breath. After that he asked me if I want to go somewhere else. And I told him I'm kinda hungry, so we went for a dinner as well. Now I don't know if he already planned this or no, but he took me to this restaurant near a riverside. It's like a romantic place for couple. And at this point I felt like he already responding to my signs really well. And I hope he will continue to initiate everything that I was hoping for. But it was really awkward during our dinner. Both of us just sit there without any conversation. Then I remembered some of you guys told me to basically have a courage because he's probably waiting for 3 years for all of this. And it's time for me to make a move. I don't know why, but when I'm trying to start a topic of conversation, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "So what do you think of having children?" Quote. He was shocked to hear me say that. And then he replied, "Oh well, I love to have some, maybe one day when you ready," and my mouth just automatically say, "I'm ready." And he start coughing. After that, he asked me if I am really 100% sure about this like 7 times. And of course I said yes. After the dinner we get back to his car and we talked a little bit and he initiated to kiss me. I was closing my eyes awkwardly, giving an uncomfortable facial expression. And then he said that we don't have to do this if I don't want to. But I kissed him anyway without saying a word. And after we arrive at home, we finally get intimate for the first time, but before we do it he keeps reassuring me that am I really ready and is this what I really want and no one forcing me to do this. I just can't believe that he still feel the needs to ask these questions. And I cannot describe how good it feels to be finally in this state of relationship. The next morning we talked more than we used to and he opened up about his perspective of our marriage. Basically he was forced to. But after he saw me, he likes me so he did it anyway. After he back from work, he bought us a new pair of ring as a symbol of our new starting point in life. I'm finally feel relief right now. Everything's work out. But if there's something that still bothers me is that I'm still questioning about has he cheated on me with another woman during these whole 3 years? But I'm afraid to hear the worst possible outcome and ruin everything. Thank you everyone, heart. Reminder, I'm not the Oop. That ending though. Damn, these are screwed up situations. Oop and her husband haven't really reached the level of intimacy in their relationship to consider having kids. I hope they don't rush into it and focus on building their relationship first. I get the feeling that, with the reaction Oop got from her husband, she doesn't need to worry about whether he cheated on her. It sounded like he was waiting for her to be ready patiently. This is the perfect beginning after a horrible beginning. Hope everything works out for them. Yikes. I mean, it's gotta be tough to have a prearranged marriage. A marriage where two people chose each other is tough enough. I'm glad they finally clicked. She must have reasons to maybe think he was sleeping with other women for that to pop up. But I'm not sure she should hold that against him. But the way he kept asking "is this okay" several times makes me think he waited it out. Oh boy. I thought this was going to end badly. Like the husband is gay and was forced to marry her to appease the parents kind of way. So glad that was not the case. I just can't believe that he still feel the needs to ask these questions. Girl, why wouldn't he ask these questions all the time? From what Oop is telling us, she jumped from not enough friends hip convoto learn about how their marriage came about in 3 years to wanna have kids. What else was he supposed to think apart from? Is she really ready if she doesn't demonstrate any knowledge about the steps in between? This sounds like a plot to a rom-com Bollywood movie. I kinda like that the Oop is clear-eyed enough to realize that there is a faint possibility that husband might have looked elsewhere for what he wasn't getting at home the last 3 years. It's a tricky situation and I am not sure how to feel about it. On the one hand, he'd be human to get tempted. Otto, maybe not justified if he didn't tell her he might. Now that's the wholesome content I needed before bed. My friend's parents had a relationship like this. They had an arranged marriage and it was about 56 years before the wife grew to love the husband enough for this same thing to happen. Husband was about 12 years older and never ever pressured her. They had a very happy marriage until his death a few years ago. So what do you think of having children? Well, that's one way to say, let's do it. Ah, the good old forced marriage trope with people who eventually fall in love. Did I read too many fanfics? Probably. It's lucky this arranged marriage has worked out, provided they can continue to build their bond as husband and wife. But I feel for all the women who are forced into these marriages and who never feel anything for the man they married. That's pretty good. Good luck to Oop and her husband. You can't cheat on something that doesn't exist. Oop wasn't really married. There is no such thing as an actual marriage without sex. They were just roommates. It's no different than being married to someone you haven't spoken a word to in 3 years. You're not really married. Waits for her for 3 years. Makes every assurance she is ready to make the next step and is still suspected blindly with no proof of being unfaithful? Heavens me. Is this wholesome? Though, we were both forced into this marriage. But now after years of being stuck with him, I think I actually might like him. Isn't this just Stockholm Syndrome? One of the happiest couples I know have an arranged marriage. In the culture, there's a 3-month period during which either side can back out. Well, these two happen to fall in love and are going strong 35 years later. Heart so sweet.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.